Hello and welcome everyone to MDE Podcast Special Series, Altera Perspectives. This segment invites you to explore Altera Infrastructure, a leader in global energy infrastructure services, known for its operations in offshore oil regions like the North Sea, Brazil and Canada's East Coast. Altera is redefining the future of offshore energy infrastructure. In this insightful trilogy, the spotlight is on how Altera tackles challenges and opportunities in the energy sector and how they manage the most important assets, their people. From recruiting top talent for ambitious projects in Dubai to managing global mobility and nurturing a culture that thrives on innovation and sustainability. Altera Infrastructure, originating from Altera, the Portuguese word for transform, lives up to its name. With a versatile fleet of FPSOs, shuttle tankers and other offshore assets, Altera isn't just participating in the energy industry, it's leading the change towards a greener and more sustainable future. Their story is about more than just assets and operations, it's about the people behind them. Over 2,300 professionals, united by their vision and values, drive their commitment to operations excellence and sustainability. Through teamwork and innovation, they are not just adapting to change, they are leading it. I will be joined today by Altera influent leaders and thinkers. They'll share insight and stories that paint a vivid picture on how Altera Infrastructure is not just adapting to the changing world, but it's actually shaping it one innovative step at a time. Hi everyone, and welcome to the last episode together with Altera's podcast series. Today we are sitting still in Altera's offices in Trondheim, beautiful Trondheim, and around the table I have Tale, who is working as managing director at Altera Côte d'Ivoire, and Nishant is working as engineering manager at Altera Infrastructure. Hello.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Very good.
I hear some rumors before we go to what we actually going to talk about. You have quite a dream about something, or
I do. I would very much like to have my own podcast.
Really?
And so this is a trial run.
and what would the interesting
things that I am interested in?
Yeah.
So. Could be all the way from culture, politics to, prehistoric animals and
frozen
mammoths. Yeah, which Tala knows a lot about after spending an hour with me at lunch.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, I can promise you I will invite you next time, and then we have an own episode about that.
Okay,
sounds good.
We have a date.
That's good. That's good. Looking forward to it. Global mobility. We have been talking a little bit about that in another episode, but today we're going to talk about your experiences about it. You both have been on a foreign posting. Can you tell us a little bit more about your experience around that?
Yes. I have been 2 years in Manila, Philippines, where we have an office of about 90 Filipinos. So I was heading up that office, and I brought my daughter. So she was there from she was 16 until 18.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
I think for her it was a lot better, a really good experience.
Yeah.
She got to know a lot about the Asian culture, and I think she got new perspectives also on life in Norway. So great experience, I would say.
Oh, cool. What about you?
I've not been on a foreign posting with Altera, but I have been on several with my previous employer. So I've been to Middle East, Iraq and Dubai and Kazakhstan. And then Norway was also a foreign posting for me. I moved here this is the second time I'm in Norway. The first time I moved in here was in 2007 with Orma Lange startup. Mm-hmm. So then I ended up staying here for up to 5 years. So yeah, I've been on quite a few foreign postings.
But how is it to come to a new country and a new culture and The weather outside is frightful. It's cold.
Yeah. Norway has been cold, but it's not the coldest place I've been to. Kazakhstan was much colder. Experienced temperatures down to -47.
Where
in
were you?
Kazakhstan?
Yeah, where in Kazakhstan?
In a place called Altera, and then offshore, where they have the satellite islands. So it can be. What is different with Kazakhstan is that not only do you get cold, but you get wind and cold at the same time. Okay. So experiences, it's challenging and rewarding at the same time. So whenever you come to a new place, you are excited and you're nervous as well. You're not really sure how things will be. But overall, I think when I look back on the places I've been to, I've always left them more with more understanding, more broadening, and more enriched than I went in. So I don't know, Tala, if that's been your experience as well?
Yes, definitely. I also think we have very different expectations when we come in compared to what we experienced. I thought, for instance, that I would be unsafe in the Philippines, and read up on the web and recommendations from the Norwegian UDI. But I really never felt unsafe there. I felt like I could walk the street, and a lot different experience than what I came with. And then I think in addition to learning something new and being challenged, I think the fact that life gets longer when you do something like that, because you get a more defined kind of life before and life after, and then under a foreign posting. So in that sense, life is too short, so why not make it longer with a foreign posting?
It sounds good. What are the positive outcomes for an employee going abroad for a period, do you think?
Towards me? I can only speak from what I've experienced. I've, work culture, let me just focus on work culture than the wider culture. Work culture is very different in country to country. In the Middle East, for example, you cannot go in with a Western, Northern European attitude to meetings, to agendas, to timings. Things work at a much more slower pace. While in Kazakhstan, it was different again, and so you have to be flexible. You have to be willing to adapt to and take on the rhythm of the country. Trying to force things to a Western European way is not really always the most successful way of achieving an objective. Thala, was that similar in your experience as well?
Yes, definitely. I also think that some of the positives, of course, every family have their experience, but many people that I've spoken to feel that it has kind of brought the family members closer, because you go there and then you all have your different individual experiences at work, at school, in society, and then you meet and you debrief kind of during dinner, and you discuss more of these fundamental questions that maybe you don't discuss up at Byåsen. So that was at least my experience, that with my daughter we discussed completely different things, and it was really interesting to hear her reflections and her experiences on this new culture and how to behave.
Yeah, for sure. And and also you I think you bond probably on a different level than if you're staying in, as you say, in Byåsen in Trondheim. So that's really exciting. But before we went on taking this recording, Tale, we were talking about some challenging getting people to take a foreign posting, and you said that you see a slight different now between before COVID and after. What's that, do you think? Why is it like that?
In the past, I worked a lot to try and motivate people to go on foreign posting, because we always want to have company representatives out in our projects and on our sites. But especially in Norway, it's very normal that there are two parties having a career. And then to move a whole family based on the career of one person has been challenging in many ways. But we see now that post-COVID, there's a lot more flexibility amongst the different employers. So several of them will actually accept for a period of time that their employee brings the work with them. So several of our employees now in Dubai, they have partners who have been allowed to bring their work with them to Dubai. And that makes it more flexible, and hence there are more people who have the opportunity to go on such a posting.
Yeah. But is that also, is that like on every project you have? Also in where you are now, are the director?
The same trend, I would say, we see all over. I think it's harder for an employer to accept it if it's like a permanent posting, but if they know it's for 2 years, for instance, then a lot of them would like to be flexible because there is a war for talent, and then to keep and retain their employee, they would rather let them work from abroad for some time.
Yeah, cool. But what about, or like, can one of you share some main experiences from your time when you were abroad? Recommendations to other employees, maybe, and or the company?
So I was just going to share an experience that came to my mind was when I first moved to Norway and I was working in Kristiansund. I remember we had an issue at the plant, so we were deep in work, and I think it was just after 3:30, and I could remember that the office went completely black. And I was saying, what happened here? I hadn't realized that Norway, shuts down at 3:30, especially in the winter months. And it was completely dark. It was kind of scary for me to be walking around an office with no lights. But just to go back to your question around, there's a lot of positives that a person can take from being abroad and immersing in a completely different culture. It broadens your mind, your perceptions and views around what is good, what is bad, what is acceptable. They all become morphed and changed and adjusted. So the world is a lot larger than the small, areas. If you stay in one area, I think. So I think it opens up. You look at things in a different way, and I think work-wise you become more creative because you see there is a lot more possibilities to do a job. So in that sense, I see this as a positive. And for the company, Thala, what I have experienced is that you're doing a project or you're setting up organization somewhere else, having Altera DNA, and we can argue what the right percentage is, but having a certain amount of DNA into an organization gives it the culture you want the organization to have. And it doesn't matter if it's in Brazil, Côte d'Ivoire, Dubai. I think having your people who understand the values and cultures of Altera, positioning them in, and they then build up the culture of the organization. I think that's a big plus for the company.
Absolutely, I agree. And I think one thing is the importance of developing the Altera culture all around the world. At the same time, we also need to respect the fact that we come into a culture, and some things is more easy to develop your company culture, and other areas you just have to accept and adapt and find good work processes in accordance with the local culture. And to really know what is what and how you can work in the most optimal way in different locations, you really need to understand the local culture, and you need to understand the local framework, I would say. And I think sometimes we're a bit naive being here. So having people who have been present in different locations, being able to really develop this as a global company and ensure that things are not just fit for purpose here in Norway, but that it will actually work also in other locations, I think is really important. But to your initial comment around also recommendations to others, I think also people have to be realistic that moving abroad is hard work. The company can facilitate and you can have some structures in place, but every person and every family is different. So the fact that you have to ask a lot of questions, you have to know that not everything will be served to you in a silver plate. To build a new network is also hard work, and it takes time, and you should, really make the effort initially to ensure that you meet people, you actively approach people, and you build a network so that you can benefit from having people to meet and places to go, because outside of work also to have this the people where you can actually ask questions of your experiences is what I experience in my working environment. Do you experience the same? How have you solved this? What are some good techniques to be a good leader in this new culture, for instance? So I don't think people should dive into this without properly thinking it through, because it is hard work, but if you make the effort, it's really rewarding in the end.
Yeah, so at the end you can recommend it.
Yeah. Definitely.
And here you're probably one of the two best ambassadors for the program, to go outside and see the new culture and etc.
Just want to add to what Thala said. We have to be open that it is stressful. Moving to a different culture is stressful. So you have to take that look at the complete overview. But as we said, both MDE and Altera will provide a certain amount of security and support. So you're not going on your own. You're going with a team behind you. That should provide you some comfort.
That's good. I see the time is just flying through the room, and it's been an absolute pleasure to talk with both of you, and also the other people in Altera, and listen to your vision, your values, and your mission. We in MDE looking forward to continue the good cooperation, and we look forward to the road ahead. I also hope that you enjoyed the talk. Was it fun?
It was.
You made his dream come true.
I know.
Of course, he had fun.
Next time is the frozen mammoth.
Yeah, that's good. That sounds good. If you want to know more about Altera's opportunities, please visit Altera's webpage or MDE's webpage. Hope you had a good time listening to us, and we wish you all a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.